Welcome to NeoEnglish, the podcast where you learn practical English for real conversations.
Today, we have an interesting topic. Google Assistant is losing more features.
Yes, Google recently announced that its voice assistant will no longer have 7 features. This comes after news that Gemini, Google's new AI tool, is replacing Google Assistant on Android phones.
Let's break it down in simple English. First, what is Google Assistant?
Google Assistant is a voice-controlled helper on Android phones and smart devices, like Nest Hub and speakers. You can talk to it and ask questions like, "What's the weather today?" or set an alarm for 7 a.m.
Right. But now Google is removing some of its features. Losing a feature means the assistant won't be able to do certain things anymore. For example, it won't send emails or make calls using voice commands.
Exactly. Let's look at losing a feature. Lose means something is taken away or no longer available. For example, if a store stops selling a product, customers lose the ability to buy it. Or if a phone app no longer works, the user loses that functionality.
Good examples. So, Google Assistant is losing features, and that means users won't be able to use those functions anymore.
But here's the problem. Google didn't make a big announcement about this. Instead, it was a quiet update, meaning they didn't tell everyone clearly.
That's frustrating. When companies make big changes, they should explain them clearly.
I agree. Now let's talk about Google's new AI, Gemini. Gemini is replacing Google Assistant. Replacing means taking the place of something old with something new.
Like when an old phone stops working and you buy a new one, that's replacing. Or when a restaurant changes its menu, they replace some dishes with new ones.
Great examples. So, Google Assistant is losing features, and Gemini is replacing it.
This is a big change, especially for people who use Google Assistant every day.
Right? Some users might be unhappy because they rely on those features. Rely on means to depend on something.
Yes, for example, many people rely on their cars to get to work, or students rely on books and teachers to learn.
So if someone relies on Google Assistant for daily tasks, this change could be a problem.
Before we finish, let's go over today's vocabulary and phrases. Losing a feature, replacing, and rely on.
And here's a short story to help you remember.
Imagine Alex, a busy student. He relies on his Google Assistant to set reminders and send messages. One day, he learns that Google Assistant is losing some features. He feels frustrated because he needs those functions. Later, he discovers that Google is replacing Assistant with Gemini. He hopes the new AI will be just as helpful.
That was a great recap. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned some useful English.
Thanks for listening to NeoEnglish. Have a great day.